Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1737. The topic is nutrition, and the title is Impacts of Training Without Proper Nutrition. So I had a trainer reach out. We're going to start working together, and I'll tell you a little bit about their story. She started out with saying that she never misses a workout. But as I started to look through everything else she was doing, I realized that she was only eating about 600 to 1,200 calories a day. That's it. And once a week or twice a week, she would randomly have these really high calorie days, but she would eat nothing all day and then go out with a family event or go out with friends or go out on a date. And what happened was she ate nothing all day pretty much. And then she'd have this, 2,200 or 2,400 calorie evening, and her way to balance that was that she ate nothing all day. So the food was absolutely all over the place. She had a range within the last couple weeks of, she had been tracking everything on MyFitnessPal. So when she gave me her login information and stuff, I logged in and I looked at it, and there was a range anywhere from 600 calories up to 2,600 calories in the last 10 or so days. So all over the map. And protein was very rarely, if ever, over 100 grams. She said, I work out all of the time, but I don't look like it. I feel that people don't take me seriously as a trainer. And that was a big bummer for her. She really wants to help people. She loves being a trainer. She trains at a commercial gym, and she has a good community. But she feels that her clients are always bringing ideas to her, like, oh, do you think I should do this training program? Do you think I should work with this person? Do you think I should do this nutrition? And she's like, they always ask me if they should do these other people's things, but they almost never ask me they should do through me. And she said that's partly why she feels like she doesn't feel respected, because she doesn't look the part. And she wants to work together so we can address that. And I was like, heck yeah, let's do it. What I wanted to talk about, what I talked about with her, and I thought I would make fun to variation into making it fun into a podcast, would be is the training without proper nutrition. The title today of Impacts of Training Without Proper Nutrition. What you can achieve, what she was achieving by being consistent with training, was number one, she did make some strength progressions through simple technical improvement. She wasn't actually getting stronger because she doesn't have any nutritional support to develop strength, but she was moving better in the movements and exercises. And whenever she felt like she plateaued, she would switch to a new exercise. So she would do back squats for, a couple weeks. When she felt like she couldn't do that anymore, she'd switch to this thing, do that for a couple weeks, then switch to another thing. So she felt like she was making progress in her training. But whenever I looked back through and I pointed out to her and I said, hey, if you look back, look back in February. How much were you back squatting back then versus now? And she came back and said, well, shit. It's pretty much the same weight. So she would make progress over a couple weeks, and then she'd switch to a new movement, progress over a couple weeks, switch to a new movement. But she wasn't realizing that every couple months, when she would switch back to the same movement, she wasn't really any better off than she was before. The reason why she was getting improvements every week was just simple technique improvement. The reason why she was plateauing and not being able to make continued improvements was because she didn't have any nutritional support to develop, better neurological connection to the muscles, more muscle mass. She wasn't making any physical adaptations. It was just technique improvement. Now, she was also, by doing training without proper nutrition, she was still building confidence. She understood how to do the lifts well. She lifts well. I looked at her videos and stuff. She has good technique. So she had more confidence when teaching other people because she looked the part in how she could move. She does get some cardiovascular improvement. And I said that's going to be, hit ceiling as well on that. But she was seeing some improvements in run times and cycling. She did cycling. She was seeing some improvements, but they weren't really that great when you look over the course of, say, 6 months. And one thing I pointed out to her that I really wanted her to take away as a confidence boost was that the mindset development. She understood the discipline versus motivation challenge. Is most often people don't do anything unless they feel motivated to. Discipline is doing it even when you don't feel motivated to, because you know it's good for you. So she could train even when she didn't feel like training. That's huge. To be able to do what you know is good for you, even when you don't want to do it, is a huge, huge mental progression. So awesome. And I said, please, don't dismiss that, because, typical nature of people who are driven is she's going to discredit everything she was doing right and look at all the negatives. So she's going to discredit everything she was doing right. She's going to look at all the negatives. And I said, please don't do that. Let's take a second to look at the things you're doing right, and let's applaud the hell out of that, because you put a lot of effort and a lot of pain, a lot of misery, a lot of crying days into getting these things right. So the fact that you understand and can demonstrate discipline versus motivation is amazing. Also, I said you've learned task management. You can fit training in regardless of life chaos. Do you know what that's going to be amazing for being able to do? Fit nutrition in regardless of life chaos. So I said it is freaking awesome what you've been able to achieve. Absolute, hands down, pat in the back, applause. You've done some amazing, amazing things. But, and I know that's a very heavy butt right there. But the things we're missing. And what she was seeing was what you can't achieve when you train but you don't have proper nutrition is you can't achieve bigger, better shaped muscles. Your muscles aren't going to change. There's not going to be a lot of visible progress for muscles. Your strength progression is going to have an enormous plateau very quickly with anything you try. Same as your aerobic capacity improvements. You're really just not going to be optimal at anything. You're not going to be the strongest you could be, the biggest muscles you could have, the best muscle shape you could have. You're not going to be the leanest you could be, the best cardiovascular. You're not going to be optimal at anything. You're not going to have bigger muscles. You're not going to have less body fat. If anything, when you train not properly fed, you're doing the opposite of getting leaner and bigger muscles. What you're experiencing is tissue loss, which is why people will still weigh less. They're losing a greater percentage of muscle tissue than body fat. So they will weigh less, but they're going to look skinny fat, which is exactly what she said she's struggling with. She wanted help with more visible muscle. She's like, I'm not fat. She says, I'm comfortable with the clothes size I wear. And when I look myself in photos, I'm not bigger than everyone else, but I'm just not leaner. I don't have more muscle definition. So she's skinny fat. And that's exactly what's going to happen when you train, but without proper nutrition. You experience tissue loss, not fat loss. Big difference. So training without proper nutrition does have some benefits to some degree. But everything will plateau very quickly. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to look like crap. You're going to hate the process. You're going to burn out. And you're either going to quit or you're going to just quietly hate your life. Hate your body every time you look at it. Hate your body every time you try on clothes. You're just going to hate yourself. So we need to fix that. And proper nutrition is easier than you think. It is. We have on our website, www.brutalirongym.com, if you go to free nutrition education, on that page, the first document there is create your own nutrition program. You can click that, you can view it, you can print it, you can listen to the podcast. It takes you step by step how to do it. What you want to do is you want to break your day down into 5 to 6 hour chunks. The first 5 to 6 hours of being awake, the second 5 to 6 hours of being awake, and the final 5 to 6-ish hours of being awake. 3 chunks of the day, okay? You're going to listen to that podcast and read that document that's free on our website, and you're going to learn what your calories and protein needed is per 5 to 6 hour block. So you might find out, okay, I need to have 600 calories and 35 grams of protein every 6 hours. Okay, good. That's what you want to find. Every 5 to 6 hours, how many calories, how many grams of protein do I need? Then you eat whatever the hell gets you there. Whatever it is. Eat whatever allows you to be consistent. If it's affordable, convenient, taste, you like the taste, good digestibility, you feel good after eating it. You want to find foods that allow you to be consistent. Not what's good versus bad. Not what, is organic this or high fiber that or blah, 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 blah. There's a time and place for all that stuff. But right now, if you're struggling to just eat remotely consistent calories and get enough protein, that's not the time and place right now, okay? So you want to focus on whatever allows you to be consistent with those 5 to 6 hour goals. However many calories you're supposed to have, how many grams of protein you're supposed to have every 5 to 6 hours. You eat whatever is affordable, whatever's convenient, whatever tastes good, and whatever has good digestibility. So you're not gassy and bloated or, feel miserable afterwards. If you can be consistent with training, you already have what it takes to be consistent with nutrition. You just need confidence. You just need a little more clarity. But it's amazing. If you've been consistent with training, you've already done like 90% of the work. If you've already demonstrated that you can be disciplined when you're not motivated, if you've already demonstrated task management, being able to fit things into the chaos of life, you're already there. Okay? You just need a little bit of help. That free document is on the website. You can also reach out and I'll help you with our one-on-one coaching service. We'll get you started, get you in a good place, and you can kind of cruise with it on your own. You can learn more about those services on the website as well when you go check out that free document. If you need anything, email me, brutalirongym@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, please share the podcast. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast. If you like the information we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. On Instagram and YouTube, you can find us and follow us under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.